Yeah, I saw the look on Lisa's face when that commercial popped up. She was like, "Oh, look at that!" I'd be
Yeah.
damn if I'm gonna have my own show and don't promote my
And
liquor on here.
I
I've
like
been
that. That
tripping.
was
I've been tripping.
good.
And I
Look
actually
at
created that like
you.
3 months ago, and that's the first time I played it. I don't know why. I
That
don't
was
know
real
why.
good. I
Appreciate it.
like it.
I actually need to do another one because there's one in there, the green bottle. We're not selling that kind anymore, and we're kind of doing
Okay.
pouches right now because it's summer. But
Right.
anyway, welcome everybody. You're tuned into another week of Access Granted the Pod Stream. Your boy Mr. Antoine is in the building, along with my sister Lisa Monet. Hey,
Hey.
what's going on, sis?
Nothing much. Nothing much. Just here. Happy to be here another Monday on
Absolutely,
time in a
absolutely.
place to
She's
be.
on time. She
I'm
sounds good. Her hair's popping. She's nah. How was the weekend? How was the weekend?
Weekend was good. Like I was telling you, so I am one of those people that work on the weekends. But prior to my weekend, me and my daughter, we saw Little Mermaid. It was excellent. It's excellent for all of the little mermaids out here everywhere.
Yeah.
And then we went and saw Spider Man as a family because I'm also a mom of sons. So I have one daughter and two sons.
Right.
So we saw Spider Man. I enjoy Spider Man. I'm gonna say it again because it's a little long. I was trying to follow with so much
Mhm.
information, and
Yeah.
definitely it's gonna be like a part two. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
So you definitely want to see this one so you'll understand the second one coming up. So
I didn't even know there was a new Spider-Man in the movie.
yeah, it's kind of animated, I should say. Like
Okay.
it's like you know those new cartoons now, like
Hmm.
they're different. They're like cartoons, but they're kind of like it
Right.
almost looks like the comic itself, kind of
Got
thing.
you.
So yeah, wasn't bad.
Got you.
I liked it.
Got you.
That's about it.
Um.
And getting ready because school's over, so camps and things will be starting soon, and just relax. And this is the lull before everything picks up. So yeah.
Shout out to all of the camps that charge an arm and 5 legs for your
Five,
kids to come.
five legs here. Five
Five,
legs.
all
I'm on the
five
last of
legs.
the Mohicans.
Okay, that's good.
So yes,
That's
that's
good.
it for me.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yep.
we I had a pretty chill weekend, but yesterday we threw a little cookout for my son's birthday. He's 25 now. Jesus
Okay,
Christmas.
$25.
Can't believe that I have a 30-year-old and a 25-year-old. It's just
Listen,
ridiculous. It's just crazy. But
I know,
shout out to
right?
shout out to everybody in the family, all the friends that came through, man. We had a good time. We had a good time. Nothing like
Right?
family. Nothing
I
like family.
know.
Even though you want to spin kick them in the temple sometime, you know,
Okay,
nothing like
twice,
family. But
both
look,
sides.
real quick, man, before we get into the show, and I hate starting my shows with rants and talking about people in a bad
Okay,
manner. But
okay.
I'm gonna start this show in a bad manner because
Oh, uh-oh.
first of all, I'm gonna give my thoughts and my condolences to DC Young Fly and his family. You know that
Oh yes,
his
absolutely.
fiance and the mother of his three kids passed away a couple of
Mm-hmm.
weeks ago, and they just had the funeral. And I actually earlier today was watching him talk at the funeral,
Hmm.
and like made me kind of look at him in a different way. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because you see him on TV all of the time, and it's always the
Wilding out
crazy.
and
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And to see him articulate his thoughts and feelings the way that he did, I was like,
Oh.
okay, this dude ain't as crazy as you think he is, and he's very God fearing, and he talked about some parts of the Bible that was helping him get through. But
Hmm.
I'm bringing this up to talk about this clown Azalea Banks,
Oh my gosh.
who
Oof.
to me is one of the most talentless people in the world anyway. But for her to be disrespectful in the manner that she was recently and talk about, oh, this is karma because of the way that they treated me when I was on the show. I just thought that was very classless.
Uh,
Shout out to my man E Digger. E Digger did a whole show about it. I think it was
mhm,
last night, and
mhm.
they went all the way in on it. I'm not giving Azalea Banks that much of my energy to go
Okay.
in on her for like an hour and a half, but like just like super super disrespectful, man. Like, come on, like you kind of know what you're signing up for when you go on a show like Wild 'N Out.
Exactly.
Is what it is. You can't
Exactly.
come up there getting your feelings hurt. And then
You
the
cannot.
crazy part about that episode is that she's basically the one that instigated DC Young Fly
She
going in on
did.
her. And
She
she would
did.
not leave it alone. And they was trying to tell her, leave it
Stop.
alone.
Right.
Leave it alone. Even what was his name? Chico Bean. Chico Bean tried to take the mic
Yeah.
and was like, Azalea, you
This
need
is
to
not
chill
what
out
you want.
because if this can go real left real quick. And like she went on this whole Twitter rant after the show, and I think the whole cast just went in like, you just but for her
Yeah.
to come back and use that, as a way to say, oh, this is karma for whatever, and just
Mm,
be totally disrespectful. I didn't like you anyway. I like you even less now. You ain't got
exactly.
you don't have one song that I like. The one
I
movie that you was in
mean,
was 5 minutes of my life that I can't get back because I turned it off after. Nah, come on, like,
not
yeah,
5 minutes.
yeah. I gave it a whole 5 minutes.
You gave it a whole
And
5 minutes.
when you horrible in 5 minutes, you know the movie gonna be bad. So,
Okay. Wow. But you know what? I too felt the same way you do about like you signed up for this show.
yeah,
That is the premise of coming on here is that you have a thick skin and because they're going
yeah,
to roast you. You hear me? They're going to roast
yeah.
you. So then when you start with him and he will finish you because that's what they do as a
That's what
profession. It's
he
nothing for them.
and
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 you
I'm gonna
got a
be
lot of information to give them to wow you out on.
and I'm gonna be honest. He went light. He only cracked like two jokes on her.
He
He
only
went
cracked two
light.
jokes. I
If it
mean,
wasn't
what it
if
was
it
so
wasn't for
crazy.
the fact that and I didn't know this until I watched Digger's show last night, and then I read something about it today. The producers of the show
Mhm.
knew that it was about to go left and took an early
Mm.
commercial break.
Oh.
Yeah, they took like an early commercial break on that show and was like, we gotta stop this because you could see DC was trying so hard. He was trying so hard,
Yeah.
and she just kept egging it and egging it and egging it. And if
Just
that would have
a
been on for
mess.
like another 2 minutes, she would have really had a reason to cry because he would have. And then
Mm-hmm.
they do a segment at the end where they do the freestyle. They do the freestyle battles, going back and forth at each other. And DC said, "I'm going to hold it for that." And I think they must have told him not to go at her in that segment
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think he ended up. I think things kind of ended when they went to the commercial. and so he didn't really, have a chance to go in. But again, man, just to use your hurt, you know, for what
Right,
happened on the
right.
show 3 years ago, and then to come back and
Exactly. 3 years ago, like you still were hurt by this and you waited, you thought for the perfect time. Your perfect time, and oh, I'm 32 and
yeah, right,
32 this and
right,
that.
right,
Girl,
right,
oh my
yeah,
gosh.
very, very,
In all honesty, that karma that she's about to get, I won't wish that on nobody. You do
yeah,
not speak
absolutely,
ill of the dead. You do not.
absolutely. And
She had
he's
nothing to
he
do with that beef that you had with him. That's
right,
ridiculous.
exactly. And you shouldn't even have had the beef in the first place. So
Yeah,
yeah.
for real. Okay.
So
You walked.
I don't
I'm
do
sorry, go
donkey of
ahead.
the day, but if this was the Breakfast Club, she would get the donkey of the month for that
Exactly.
for that nonsense. But anyway,
Uh-huh.
moving right along, man. Got this guy up in here tonight, man. I was trying to think earlier today when exactly I met this brother, and I just it seemed like once I started doing radio, people just started popping up. I do
Okay.
remember when I started going to different events around the city. I would always see this guy in the background. He was DJing for all of these artists that I knew, and I'm like, "Yo, who the hell is this guy?" And then one day we was just cool, and we've been cool ever since, man. He always shows nothing but love and respect. Give it up for my man Rube, right
Woo!
in the bit, and it actually looks like you in the lab right now, bro.
Yeah,
It
man.
looks like it.
Yes, I
That's
am.
nice. Look
Yes,
at
I am.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice setup. I mean, when you start when it gets to be seven figures, you know what I mean, then you can start having
Oh,
setups
sure.
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
unfortunately,
Okay.
the decimal is not
Is in
where
the
it's
wrong.
supposed to be. So
My
it's seven
God,
figures, all right. But
what's going on with you, bro? How's everything?
man, I am chilling in the cut, trying to make a living in a white man's world. You know how it go. Ain't
Hey,
nothing changed. Nothing
hey
that's
man,
changed at all. What's good with you guys?
hey man, we doing the same
Okay, we
thing
happy
actually.
to have you.
Yeah,
Good
happy
stuff. Good
definitely.
stuff.
And this been a long time coming, man, because I never got you. I don't think on the show when I had Baltimore Flavor Radio popping off. And like I said, I don't
Yeah.
even remember how we met. You was just there one day, man, and it might have been an artist that you had worked with or something, and like you was just there. I know you was cool with Jay at one
Yeah.
point, and I think I might have met you through him or something. But like I said, one day you was just there, man, and you've been around ever since, man. Real good people.
Not the
Having
ghost.
having
I'm
the
the
corner,
ghost.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
perfect
I
name
mean,
for
somewhere in there. Somewhere in
it.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
somewhere in there. But I did
Um,
make it up to the last spot that you was at. But for whatever reason, you couldn't make it. So it was just
uh,
Wombat and Jay.
uh, I
So
was probably
yeah,
sick.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
actually was probably sick that day. Now that you mention it, I do remember. Hey, Shanetta, thank you for tuning in. Shout out to Curtis Lewis. Thank you for tuning in as well. Hey,
Okay,
look,
Ken.
man. Um, I talked to a friend of mine, well, actually my brother-in-law, and he told me to mention a guy named D General to you. Is
Who?
that D the General? Does that sound familiar?
Yes, it does. It's been a long time since I heard that name, though.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's been a long time since I heard that name.
Apparently you worked with him. You did some work with him, back in the day, and
Oh,
I
wait a
think
minute. What's his name?
I think it's either D General or D the General. I
And,
hope
and
I'm.
who's the guy? Who's the guy that mentioned it?
My buddy of mine, my brother-in-law. His name is Derek Scott. I doubt if you know Derek, but he knows the guy. And actually, I'm getting ready to text him. Hey, Derek, if you watching now, let me know if I'm saying the name right.
Oh, he
But
knows the guy.
yeah, he knows the guy. But
Oh,
he
that's
says the guy used to work with you. Apparently around the time that he was getting ready to get signed to Cash Money.
that's the general.
The General.
Yeah,
Okay, the
then that's
General.
probably
Okay.
that's probably Speedy.
Okay.
That was
Okay.
one of my DJ AKA names uh,
Oh, okay.
in the group. They
Got you.
called me the general. So
Got you.
that's
Got
what's
you.
up.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow,
Okay.
that's been a long time.
So
Woo.
give us, man, and this is gonna be like a learning session for me as
All
as
right.
well, which is why I like having shows like this, man. Just give me a little bit, a little history lesson of you where you came up at. how you got started in the game, so to speak.
That's what's up. You know, the Baltimore scene, I came into probably like early 2000s. You know, I did like everybody else. Had a whole bunch of artists, whole bunch of homeboys and homegirls. We got together and everybody picked out what they wanted to do. CEOs, A&Rs, the whole 9 yards. And I had that going for a while. Long story short with that, after about 2 years with that, I stepped out of it and I needed to get my producing chops up. Because, you know, when you jump into it, you just jump into it with your friends. You don't really know what you're doing. But I wanted to get better at my craft. So I left that. We were still cool, but I left that and I went on a search, a journey. I hate to sound corny, but within myself, you know. And you know,
corny?
I mean, you know,
It's not corny at all.
I feel like Bruce Leroy, you know, looking for the, you know, looking for the glow, looking for that inner glow to be the master. And you know, so I did that. I studied the craft, and you know, that's when I decided to put like major money into what I was doing. You know, because at the time, I had a little Casio keyboard, a little beat machine, and things of that nature. But I wanted to compete with the big dogs, and at that time, it was, you know, Timbaland, Neptunes, Just Blaze, all of those guys. So I had to like really step my game up. And at those times, it wasn't about, you know, computer programs. It wasn't about Pro Tools. It was about showing up hard gear. So you got to go out and get these keyboards, and you got to go out and get these dope MPCs and beat machines. So I did that. And when I started doing that, you know, other artists started coming my way. So fast forward to like 2010, I hooked up with DGK, that girl Keish, and she was looking for a producer. And long story short, with that, I became her producer. And she hustled and she grinded and she made a way. And when she put her album out, everybody was coming like, man, who did your music? And then it came back to me. And that's kind of how I got my start. And what we know now is this Baltimore music scene. And so I started working with everybody after that. So Keish and her grind really had a lot to do with my shine. I didn't mean to rhyme, but just keep doing it. But you know what I'm saying?
Bars.
So,
Bars.
Yeah, so DGK had a lot to do with how what people know me as today.
Okay.
And all my little accolades that I've gotten.
Shout out to Darlin Dina and shout out to my man Blizzard.
Yes, sir.
You already
1986.
know. My man. Shout out to Blizz. That's my partner right there.
I actually recorded. I produced 60% of one of his albums, 1986. So yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I was gonna say, man, like, give us a little rundown, and we can't be here all night, so you can't name all 75,284.
Yeah, about
Just a quick rundown of some of the artists from here that you work with.
Man, it's a lot. I probably, and this is no shade or no pat on my back, but I probably have a shorter list of who I didn't work with. But everybody from Blizz, DGK, Finesse, Lady B, Evie Newman, C Notes, Only, Ogoon, Street Certified Goon, Cynthia Yvonne. God, it's been a lot.
Yeah,
it's been a lot.
That's crazy. So when you Terrence said the coalition, shout out to the coalition. But like, I want to talk a little bit about like the early production days, man, because like you said, totally different back then. I don't know if you go quite back to like the real days.
Yep,
but
I do.
You do. So like, talk a little bit about, you know, how you got started doing that, and then of course the obvious difference that it is today, man, where you can just pretty much just sit at your you know, on your phone and make a beat almost at this point.
Well, I mean, I was whack back then. So I mean,
honest assessment. I mean, yeah,
I was super duper whack. I remember this artist, I forgot her name. She put an ad out in the Baltimore Sun looking for a producer. And I was like, wow. I said, all right, cool. So I went and long story short, I offered this girl. Yeah, how about that? She wanted 3 songs done. I charged her $75. So it was like $25 a piece per song.
Okay.
And I was so whack, she turned it down. So I was like, yeah.
Wow.
But it was a good thing.
Wow.
It was a good thing because it sent me on. I got to get on my hustle. I got to get on my grind. You know, if nobody is willing to buy a beat for me for $25, something is seriously wrong. So I had to go and get on my hustle. But back then, compared to today, it was a lot of reading back then. It's like you had to buy books and you had to read and learn how to do this stuff. Now, if I got trouble, I could just go to YouTube and say, man, I got this new MIDI keyboard. How do I do this? And they'd be like, oh, what you need to do is like, bam, and I'm on my way. You know, but back in the day, you got to read and, go to the reading room. I don't want to get too graphic, but you go to the reading room and that's where you're doing your stuff. And you reading 300-page books trying to learn how to do certain things. But nowadays, man, like the computer and technology is so it's so easy.
Internet, TikTok, all of that.
So just with the equipment, I don't know, like what was the equipment that you started off with? I know you mentioned the MPC, but like just talk a little bit about like the whole process that you had to go, the process that you went through to make them 3 beats that the woman didn't want. And I hope her career never kicked off. Turning my man down. He only charged $20
that's a deal.
Well, look, she had every right to. She had every right to. And but
that was a deal.
Is the difference, the best way without being too long is the first keyboard I had was a Yamaha keyboard that cost me about $150. And it's the keyboard, with the little speakers on it and change the sounds or whatever the case may be. But to compete with heavy hitters and do some great music back then, well as today, but back then, like the keyboard that I got now was a $2,500 keyboard.
Oh wow!
So that's the keyboard I had to go get, and that's just the keyboard. So we're not talking about the mixer or the MPC or the programs that fit into it, but just that keyboard alone, the Roland Phantom X6. It was a keyboard that could pretty much do anything, and but if you invest, in good stuff, kind of like everything else, you invest in good stuff, it will hold you down for a long period of time. So that keyboard I still use, and I bought that in 2004. So I still use it today, in corporation with the new stuff that I have. And that's what you're looking at when you're investing money into what you got going on, stuff that can last, over the years and, can change with the times. And that's kind of what you're looking at. So, it goes from this little beat machine that costs a couple $100 and the Casio or Yamaha keyboard, and you in there trying to, make legitimate music. And at the end of the day, when you put your music up against something that's on a radio or something that's on a CD, it doesn't match up. It's like you're here and they're there, and you have to reach that plateau, and you can't get there by luck. You can't get there by, hoping that somebody doesn't notice how low budget your stuff sounds. You can have the best artist in the world, the best singer, the best rapper, the best whomever, but if your stuff is low budget and their stuff is up here, I mean, they beat you already. And a lot of people used to wonder, like, how's a cat like Soulja Boy, up there, and he don't have lyrics, and but somebody like Jadakiss wasn't really up there. It's because these people, and I ain't saying Jadakiss is low budget. I'm not saying that at all.
I got your point, bro.
Yeah. But people are wondering that. People are like, how am I not being noticed? But they are, and that's because it's low budget. I mean, I think Bill Cosby used this one thing where he was talking to his daughter, and he was like, "This is the way you brought your boyfriend, with a steak, potatoes, and all this good stuff, but you served it up on a trash can lid. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And you know, so if you would have served it correctly, we would have been able to accept it. And that's the difference between low budget producing and top notch production.
Yeah, great analogy. Great analogy right there. Shout out to my man Ogun checking in.
Indeed, Mr. Beats Not Bullets.
OGUN, yes, Mr. Beats Not Bullets in the building, man. I had a chance to bring him up to the show when I was up on Bel Air Road, man. And he brought some of the young people that he was working with, man. And
yeah,
absolutely incredible work that he's doing. Shout out to you, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Definitely. He's looked out for me a few times. So we go back. We forging this I don't know if a bond, if you will. So that's been some good stuff too.
How did that relationship start? Was that just being in the game? And
man, a lot of this stuff starts early. You know, it starts, you know, with one thing that might lead to another. I asked him to be on Vanessa's album. No, DGK's album. I asked him to be on that album, and that's the first time that we interacted. I just reached out to him, and that was in 2010, 2011. Then I asked him to be on Vanessa's album when I did that, and it just kind of, you know, rolled on, and we just started seeing each other in different circles, and it was like, oh man, you know, it's, you know, two grown men trying to do their thing, and so me and Billy Live came down to his camp with the Beats Not Bullets, and we did some stuff down there, and we just been kind of rolling ever since. If something comes up, need a DJ or whatever, he'll mention my name, and he's put me in some great spaces, you know, doing that, you know, with some great people. So yeah.
Good dude. Was he rocking the O's hats back then?
I think he came out the womb with the O's hat, bro. I think he came out the womb with that.
And he's probably gonna go to his grave with an O's hat on.
Yes, indeed. So what they say, from the womb to the tomb.
From the womb to the tomb. Shout out to my man LeVar Hayes checking in, and my sister.
Yeah.
Stacy Rose in the building. What's going on, sis?
The boss.
What's good? Yeah, you got it. You got all the celebrities popping in, man. I gotta have you on the show every week.
She's supposed to be coming to the studio getting some work done, so don't yell my name out. So nah, that's what's up. Nah, she's dope, and I can't wait to work with her. I can't again. Yeah.
I'm not even gonna get into that conversation because I know she watching.
That's what I'm calling folks out. You need to be here.
I've been trying to. I've been being like a thorn in her side, trying to get her back in the studio, man. And
yeah, well, you need to turn into a knife in her side, sir. And just keep on jabbing it.
Look, she gonna say, "Shh." Nah, we not being quiet. We putting it out there, man. We putting it out there because she sat in and hosted quite a few shows with me actually, and yeah, that's right. We being petty. That's what we doing. It's not being petty. It's trying to encourage you. That's what I'm trying to understand. Like, we want more. We want to get you back in there so we can hear some of that heat. And if you got Rube, you know, behind it, like, come on, that's a no-brainer.
Success by humiliation. Yes.
Success.
Yes, that's what we do.
He said success by humiliation.
I'm dropping gems today. Yeah.
That's too funny. I want to talk a little bit about like the business side of this because of course you're not charging $25 per beat now.
Yeah, not no more.
Yeah, I'm quite sure. But yeah, we love you too, sis. Now go ahead and get up in that studio and stop playing.
Indeed.
But so like from the business side of things, man, I always like to talk to producers from this because especially when you're working on when you're working with artists on like complete projects, like you said, you work with Blizzard on, you know, like pretty much the majority of, just educate people a little bit on how the business side of that works. Because, I mean, we could sit here all night and talk about stories of people getting jerked in the business. It just, you know, it is what it is. But a lot of the reason that they do get jerked is because they just don't know.
Correct.
Let's take it from there.
So, you know, it's changed a little bit, but it stayed the same. It stayed the same. But artists, a lot of artists, and producers too. A lot of artists were scared or are scared of contracts. They don't want to be locked in. They don't want to have this these overdue things that they have to do. But a lot of artists need to realize that a contract is actually looking out for their best interest. And you don't have to accept the contract the way it is. So when you go to the table of negotiations, that's exactly what you're doing. You're negotiating. So you can say, all right, well, I can do this for for $5. And they say, well, I don't really think that it's $5 worthy, or can you do it for $3.50 if I do X, Y, and Z? And I'll say, oh, okay, that sounds right. If you can take out this, then I think we can do that. And then somebody will say, that's great. Let's put it on paper what we talked about, so we can hold each other accountable. So when the money starts rolling in, everything will be accountable. Because as we all know, even when it comes outside of music, when money's involved, it's a different story. Folks' minds start getting foggy. People want to start taking credit for things that they didn't do, and everybody wants to get credit for a word or two that they might have put in, a melody or so that they put in. But that's what contracts are for. So we put on paper what we discussed, and we can all get what we want to get out of it when we make it big, if you will. But a lot of people are scared of that. And that causes them not to do the things that they should be doing when it comes to their business, because they're scared of it. So they're scared of, well, why should I give you X amount of money, Rube? Suppose you keep my music. Suppose you get mad at me for whatever the case may be. And
right.
That's something that you want to take into account. But that's what contracts and business stuff takes care of. You don't have to worry about that. And if it does come up, you got this. You got this paper. You got these contracts, these deals that say exactly what you're supposed to get and what you're not supposed to get.
Right.
But you said, why would I give you this amount of money? You might want to keep my music. Like, why? What would be a case that you would even keep a person's music as long as they're fulfilling their part of said contract?
Well, you got a lot of people out there who are up to no good. Simple and plain. If there were certain artists that would allow me to share some of their stories that they've shared with me in private, you'd be astonished at some of the things that these people do, to get over in the game or to get what they want. The evil and devious. I hate to say those words because it's kind of dramatic, but some people are just so evil and devious out there that I had one artist come to me years ago, and this happened to be a female artist, and in order to get her stuff, whatever deal that they had set up, in order to get her final and finished products, she was offered to, or they offered her to basically feel her up, if you will, to get some type of sexual favors out of that. Now, I don't know all the money that went down and didn't go down, but that's what she was presented with at the end. So these are the kind of people that you're dealing with. And then, when you start taking business and crossing that personal line, which I've done a couple times, but there are people, when you do that, man, it makes the game hard because personal feelings come into it. And then so you got somebody who might do something personally to you, and now you're offended or pissed or whatever the case may be. So now, okay, you did that to me, so I'm gonna take it to another level. This is what I'm gonna do to you. And so all that other stuff goes out the window. So that's how you get into it. That's how you get into those type of things. So.
She said, never shit where you eat. I know that's right.
Well,
yeah, pretty much, bro. Pretty much. That works in the music game and the dope game. But I'm not going to talk about that. Just saying. I'm just saying.
You're just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
He literally just threw me for a loop with that one. I wasn't expecting. But I
I'm
I mean,
mean,
hey,
saying.
look, it's a 10 crack commandment, sir.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, I mean, hey, but yeah.
so does the contract, is that like the best way for all parties involved to like just legally protect themselves from
Oh, no,
whatever?
no doubt. You don't even have to have a full, like back in the day, like 20, 25, 30 pages, a simple agreement. Though, so I'll walk into like with an artist. It's gonna state on this agreement what I'm charging you and why I'm charging you and what you get from what you're paying. So if I charge you, I don't know, let's just say $500 to do your project. I'm going to tell you that this is what I'm giving you for $500. I'm going to allow you this particular access, this particular percentage of what I want, the points that you're going to give me. And if I do it for $500, which is very cheap, by the way, if I do that, then I'm going to want more on the back end. So this is what I want on the back end. Here you go. And you say, okay, I'm cool with this, whatever the case may be. And you might have some questions like, so do I own this? That's what a lot of artists want to know. Do I own this music? And if it's for that cheap, no, you don't own it. What I'm doing for you is I'm only going to let you have this music. I'm not going to give this track out to anybody else. It's exclusively yours for a certain period of time that we come to. But you don't own it.
Oh.
You just have exclusive access to it. If you want to own it, then that means you're going to give me more money. And I'll say, here, take it. Whatever it is you want to do with it. But I'm going to get a certain amount of money from me. And so that's what negotiations are. And then once we decided, this is what you said. Yep, I said this. You go get it notarized. And we hit the studio and we having a great day.
I have a question. So when an artist comes to you and they give that specified amount of money, by them taking it with them, what can they do with it? Like, what do they do with it until they decide, okay, I want to buy this from you?
Okay, so when you say what do they do with it, you mean
like, are they allowed to post it on their social media? What are they allowed to do with it?
Oh yeah. Now, if you're talking about a producer like myself who's local or not a big time producer, man, yes, I need you to go post it, so people can be like, yo, who did that?
Right.
Oh, Rube Rice, oh, and so I need you to go do that. But yeah, you can go do all of that. A lot of times, what I'm preparing myself for is for if you're financially successful with that song. So I'll say to you when it blows up, because that's what we want everybody to do. We want them to blow up. When it blows up, there is no, oh, Rube, I already paid you $500. Oh no, baby. That $500 was for this scene that we're in now, this location that we're in now. So now that you're out there and you're making, I don't know what's on iTunes now, was it like $9.99 for an album or something? I don't know. So if you're making $10 from the album and I produce your album, then there's a certain cut that I get from what you do. And a lot of people want to take you out of that because they figured they paid some money up front. No, what you're paying for is the work. You're paying for the time and the efforts right there. But just like you want your royalties, I want mine too. And some people want to forget all about that when they blow up.
Okay, that makes sense.
So with that being said, now that we're in the days of streaming, where your song has to stream like 47 billion times for you to make like 8 cents, do you tend to charge a little more in the upfront part just because you know that you're probably not going to see as much money on the back end?
Nah, because the reality of it is, if I wanted to go by the book, then I could and I would. But the reality of it is, where I'm at, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that. That's not my scenario. I'm not dealing with Jada Kiss. I'm not dealing with Fabulous. I'm not dealing with Cardi B. I'm dealing with I'm dealing with Finesse. You know, who works and is a mother, you know, and they have jobs. I'm dealing with people who have jobs. I'm dealing with, you know, Blizzard, but I'm dealing with Terrence, who's married and has a child.
Blizzard owe me $9, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Not
No, I see
$9.
what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So you don't put the industry stuff on them. That would be that if I did that, then nobody would be able to afford me. Nobody is coming to my studio with thousands of dollars to drop in my lap to say, man, hook me up and give me that Rube Rice magic. I might be worth it, but man, who coming through the door with that? Nobody coming through the door with that. You know, so you make it. You know what I'm saying? So you make it affordable for the level that we are at.
Yeah.
You know, now if all of those guys or people that I mentioned were signed by Columbia and Sony, and I was just, then that's the way we would do it. But you know, we have to bring it back down to where we are.
So you kind of take the budget into consideration of the person.
Oh,
you know,
no doubt about it. No doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. Look, we all go through it. Everybody on this stream right now goes through it. You know what I'm saying? So if everybody's taking their own money and putting it into their artistry and whatever it is that we do, now I'm pretty sure it would be, even though you got some serious stuff going on, Antoine, you know, you got a backlog, like, nah, I'll get you in, you know, on a certain amount of day. But imagine if your stuff was worldwide and you was being backed by FanDuel and whomever else, it would be a bigger and broader thing. Yeah. So, you know, even though it's you feel good to have Paula Campbell or Rube Rice or Ogun on your show, now you got to squeeze us in with Cardi B and, you know, Nicki Minaj and, you know, Megan Thee Stallion. It ain't gonna be a lot of room, you know, for you to have your local people on your show, because it's a bigger entity now. You know, you still working the same, you still working hard, but you know, it's a difference. If we are up here in the game, it's a different thing. It's a different thing. So, you know, I mean, look, I caught Blizzard, you know, on his job, you know, doing what he do. He's like, hey, you know, so he out here hustling, he working. Then when he get time, he can hit the studio. You know, so I can't charge those people thousands of dollars. You know? So
Lisa, you're safe. Lisa's a working mom too. She got an album that she want to put out soon.
What's up?
Safe. Lisa,
okay.
I mean, Rube not gonna kill the pockets.
Yeah,
he's not gonna do it. Okay.
And plus, I got payment plans. I mean,
I hear that.
The only thing that I don't want to do or contribute to is laziness from an artist. You know, a lot of artists, when you give it away for free or when you give it away for cheap, they don't really respect it. And so they will poop all over you with your time, and you sitting up crafting some great stuff for them. They won't come through and do what they're supposed to do. Right. You know, so
have you ever? I'm sorry to cut you off. Have you ever had an artist session and you had to excuse them?
Oh, I'm sure.
No.
Okay. I've never had that.
Wow.
I've done a great job, and not the best, but I've done a great job at vetting my clients.
Okay.
I remember when I got my tattoo, or my first tattoo, and I was going around asking for tattoo artists, and people was giving me suggestions, so I was calling them. The first 3 guys that I called was like, "Oh man, come on through." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Oh, what you want? We can figure it out. Hey man, come on through." I'm like, I don't really feel that good about somebody saying come on through. So the fourth guy who I got in contact with, his name was Razor Sharp. Shout out to you, yo. He was like, well, look, man, first we come in. First, I got to get you in for a consultation. And I'm like, ding, I'm sold.
Right.
I'm sold.
I got you.
So before you come to my studio and before we work, we're going to talk about what you want, what you're going to do, what your environment is like. This is what I accept. This is what I don't accept, blah, 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 blah. So when you come there, there's already a relationship that's being formed. And if I don't like what you're saying in the conversation, then my prices will drive you away, because I'll give you some insane stuff. So you be like, all right, we'll call you. Thanks. and then
my
we'll
people call you.
Yeah. So, normally people, I vet them already before they come. So we don't have those problems.
Liz said, Rube will make you start everything over.
Yeah.
As you should. As you should.
Okay.
As you should. Because you know what? At the end of the day, that finished product.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now in this world of social media where you can just click a button and it's out to the masses.
Right.
The finished product has to be everything. And it's a reflection of everybody that touches that project or touches that song. So
definitely,
if they gotta start it over right from scratch.
Definitely.
You do whatever. But it's gotta be right. Because that one wrong one can make or break you. Honestly.
No doubt.
It can make people, just like the one song that you had when you were working with the young lady, and that made everybody start coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
That one whack one can make everybody say, "Oh, we ain't rocking with Rube."
It does.
And it's just that it's just that fickle of an industry. You know what I mean?
It is. Mm-hmm.
So, popular conversation, Baltimore, and where it falls in the realm of music, and why outside of a Drew Hill or a Boss Man, or why haven't more of us from the city gotten to that level, so to speak? And I can even ask you, not only talking about artists, but you as a producer, you know what I mean, had that opportunity.
For the most part, it's education and pride. It's a lack of education, and it's an abundance of pride.
Not to cut you off, but that might be the best answer that I've ever gotten to that question.
Well, thank you. Cut that clip and send it viral. Yeah. I was having a conversation, this is years ago, on a job, and it was a guy from New York, and we were talking about the greatest rappers and where they would come from. And he was like, you know why there would never be a Baltimore rapper that will never be the greatest, is because you guys lack education. You don't talk about anything, and the subject matter is pretty much the same. Even when you're talking about somebody like Biggie, who was the king of hip hop at one point in time. He did a song where I pre-mentioned it, the 10 crack commandments. It was so good. It was so niggerish, if you will, but it was so intellectually done.
True.
That you saw the world, in his lyrics. A lot of, and I'm not saying everybody in Baltimore, because it's not 100%, but a lot of guys in Baltimore and women can't rap from different perspectives. They think they can, but they can't. They can't rap from different experiences, because a lot of people in Baltimore haven't been anywhere. So you can't rap from a certain perspective that you don't know about. And that's what kind of keeps Baltimore artists, as far as hip hop goes, in this little bubble of just Baltimore. And then the prideful comes in, when we do have people that make hit records or hit songs and they don't explode like they supposed to, then it's a lack of education in their camp. and it's an abundance of pride. Like, I don't want to get into the industry stuff. I don't want to be that way. I don't want to wear leather jackets. I don't want to wear stuff that they wear on the red carpet. I don't want to shine. I'm straight. I'm hood. I'm from the South Side. I'm from the Heights. I'm from wherever the case may be, and I want to represent that. So you don't want to do the stuff that you're supposed to. Kind of like what Method Man preaches. Like, yo, you got to step up and be a bit more professional to get this paper that you're trying to get. So you got to be on time. You gotta look the part, dress the part, act the part. You can't be a nigga all the time. There's sometimes that you gotta say, you know what, like Dave Chappelle, we all got that we got street slang and we got job interview. You have to use that job interview sometimes. So we was talking about Paula Campbell on the set, and I said, to me, that finding out that she was on the hook of Hard Out Here for a Pimp, as a Baltimore native and resident, that should not be a surprise to me. That should have been plastered in my face on billboards, on the news, wherever, that my hometown native girl is on this hit song that won an Oscar. I shouldn't have had to find out a decade later that was her.
But you found out on access granted, so
Indeed, sir. Indeed. So make that clip, make go back.
Yeah.
But it's the same way, Be Rich, Tim Trees.
Yeah.
These guys, I love them to death and I thank them for what they did. But there is no way, if I ever get a song that is on a Madden game or NBA Live, that's going to be me. Hey, Rube Rice, what have you done? Oh, remember that song on Madden? I could have done 1,000 songs, but I'm that guy. I do my little shuffle, whatever the case may be. You're going to know, and I'm going to feed and ride off of that. And if you need me to do a video for that, then we're going to go do a video for that. If the song is popping like that, we're going to do everything that we possibly can. We're going to do remixes. I don't care if the artist that they pick is whack. If this artist is popular and can get you the views and the streams that you need, that's what we're going to do. And a lot of people are prideful and don't want that. And I use Soulja Boy because back in the day, Soulja Boy was that whack rapper for us in my era. It was like, so I'm using him as an example. Like, I don't want Soulja Boy on my track because he's whack. Yo, Soulja Boy is kicking millions of dollars and he's selling millions of records. Let's put him on a remix. Get you up to that status, and then you can drop Soulja Boy and go ahead and do your own thing. But you don't want to do that because you don't want to be known as whatever the streets might label you. So therefore, you'll sacrifice your whole career and go back to rapping in the hood. And that's what most of Baltimore does.
You just made me think about the Young Guns when you mentioned that when they did the remix with Chingy, and I was like, why in the hell did y'all have Chingy on this song? And Chingy at that time was
rolling. He was the man. Yep, he was the man.
So as whack as he was on that song,
he was the man.
Whack as he was on the remix, you know what I'm saying? It kind of helped them, and push them and put them in a space that they, that they wouldn't have been. So same question from like a producer standpoint, because to me, and I say the same thing. Shout out to my man Nate Kauser. I say the same thing about producers that I say about MCs. There's about 5 or 10 MCs that I'll take from this city, and I'll take them to any other city and put them up against their 5 or 10 MCs, and I think we're gonna come out with a nice amount of wins. Say the same thing about producers. There's some incredible producers here.
No doubt.
Incredible producers. But for some reason, you guys just haven't, you know what I'm saying? You haven't gotten to that Timberland level or that Dr. Dre level, so to speak. Same thing? Same reasoning?
A little. It falls into that category. But the reality of it is a hit producer needs to have a hit artist. And, even though there have been people that put out instrumental CDs or records or projects, I don't know none that didn't go platinum or that went platinum. You know, so you need an artist to in the forefront to put you out there. And then the reality of it is, in the way that some people think, is that production is way more than making a beat. To be a producer is way more than making a beat. I have lost many of beat battle competitions, but I still am at the top of my game because I don't have to make the beat to be able to produce your song. So I can produce your song. I can say, nah, this don't need to go there. This is what we need right here. Let's take out this instrument and do this, and let's do that. Hey, how about if we strip it down right here? And then instead of you rapping it, why don't you do that singing thing that you do? And then we'll do this and do that. And then and next thing you know, you got a great song in your hands. You know, so a producer needs that person. You know, we are the Robins to the Batman. You know, or even if you go a little bit more cerebral, we are the Alfreds to the Batman. You know, Alfred, we got all the concoctions, we got all the things that will make you sound good and make you do well. We just need you to do well.
Right.
You know, so we are cog in that wheel. You know, and unless we catch a lucky break. And you know, I don't know, Drake comes along on your Instagram and like, oh, DMs you, and next thing you know, you in the stratosphere somewhere. But how many times is that going to happen? So we need that artist to piggyback off of. You know, it's kind of like it's like what is Master Splinter if he didn't have these turtles? Right. You know what I'm saying? You know, you could be the wisest person in the world. What is Obi-Wan Kenobi, you know, without Luke Skywalker? Yeah. You know, you can have this wise, intelligent stuff inside of you, but if you don't have anybody to give it to and they don't take it and roll with it, then you're just gonna be another old man, you know, stroking your beard, you know, and that's it. So you need that. You need that artist, and that artist needs that team. So it's full circle. It goes right back around. You know,
that's interesting. That's real interesting.
Because it's some dope. It's a lot of producers that inspire me. You know, even I got a top 5, but in Baltimore, I mean, people like Careers Marcel, Natty 410, Beat Rider, even Scar Akbar. You know, these people push me to a different level that I wouldn't have gone to if I didn't hear that stuff. Like, oh my God. And everybody was just looking for that break. And you just kind of never got it. So, you know, everybody's still around, you know, because we love it. And, you know, we still try to do something, but we've taken on different roles, you know, kind of like Ogun. You know, I mean, he used to be one of the most lethalist rappers. I'm not saying that you lost your lethalism, sir, but that's what he used to be known for. But now he's transitioned to opening up, doing bigger and better things without you. So, you know, but yeah, these guys inspire me. We just never caught our break. Never caught it.
Funny that you mentioned Natty because he's on the show next week.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, he's on the show next week. Shout out to my man Richard Burton checking in. AKA Shamrock, AKA the only dude to take notes at a drug meeting. I will always ride him for that, bro. I always ride Richard for that, bro.
That's a real dude right there, too.
Talking about he following Robert's rules at a drug conspiracy meeting. Come on, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing? Stringer Bell looked over and said, "God, you taking notes." That's like one of the funniest parts of all 5 seasons of The Wire. That's one of the funniest parts, man. If there was one artist, and I know this is like a very cliche question, but I love hearing the out of the box answers. And I'm gonna give you 3 artists that you could work with. I'm gonna say 1 hip hop artist, 1 R&B artist, and then 1 out of any genre. Who would you work with?
Jadakiss, hip hop.
Okay.
Or if you don't invite me to the studio for that session, we
Yes,
gonna
please.
fight.
I would really want to. I mean, this one is cliche, but I really would love to work with her. I've had dreams about working with Beyonce, and not just because
Oh.
she Beyonce, but but because her. I want to learn from her because her work ethic in the studio is ridiculous, and I want to be around that to see what she can give to me, or what she can bring out of me, and what she can do to something that I create.
Okay.
And I think that would take me out the hood. But
You think? You think?
you know, and the third one was what?
Any other genre?
Any other
Any other
genre?
There's a lot, but I really wanted to work with Pink.
Oh, okay.
Or Christina Aguilera. One of those two.
Okay.
They have extraordinary voices, and I heard them go pop and hip hop. I always wanted to work with, and I've worked with a few, but I've always wanted to work with a great voice who is not limited to their genre. You know, and from what I hear from those two, is phenomenal to me. It's phenomenal. I think they both did great jobs at coming out on the black tip, if you want to, and then changing over and going more pop and mainstream. But those two, I don't know if I could pick between one or the other.
Pink is real. That's a real interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because a lot of people don't know. They know Pink for what she is now. They don't know on her first album that this is what she was doing on her first album. Then through the years, it was on some old, literal pink hair and spikes and all that kind of stuff. But she still got a dope voice. I mean, a very dope voice.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
What's the chick's name that was on that Blow Your Mind song with Eve?
Gwen Stefani?
Is that Gwen
Oh,
Stefani?
you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Gwen Stefani.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that.
Yeah.
In that realm.
It's
well.
It's the same type of thing. It's the same type of thing.
Yeah, she was on that with Eve. So
yeah.
They was on the motorcycle. They was grooving on the motorcycle. Like that.
I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot out there that I would love to work with.
I'm sure.
That's in that realm of like super duper fire. Definitely. But yeah, those are my two. Two.
And who
Aguilera got that voice? Good Lord.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of power coming out of a little. She can't be no more than but 5'2", 105 pounds soaking wet.
You probably being generous giving her 5'2", but yeah.
Yeah, about that.
that's a lot of power coming out of her little voice.
Man.
So like, who's that producer, man, that you hear one of their joints and it just say, you be like, damn, I got to get in the lab right now.
It's a few. Timbaland is definitely one of those guys. Just Blaze is one of those guys. Those are probably like the two that inspire me the most to say, you know what? Let me go downstairs and click on all the power and all right, let's go to work. There's some great producers out there, but those two are the most inspirational for me. Yeah, because Timbaland still got it. Timbaland, their beats to me inspire great songs. And Timbaland, man, he just got it. Oh man, he just got it, man. It's always going to be something crazy that comes out of Timbaland. Always. It's never going to stop. I think for me, he's one of those, and it's crazy because he's not even in my top 5 producers of all time. But I guess when it comes to inspiration, he is.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Yeah. So dope.
I remember one time I could turn on the radio and hear a song for the first time and be like, "That's Tim."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tim
There's
always
certain
gives you.
cadence.
He always gives you like this offbeat
Yeah.
kind of sound,
Yeah.
or he always throws in a little.
Yeah.
And you like, yo, that's Timberland.
There's a certain cadence that he has. Yeah.
And when he was on fire,
Yeah.
bro, when he was on fire,
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, he's a great. He's a great. He's a goat, as they say. He is.
Yeah.
I could see Timberland doing a master class for producing.
Oh, he's already done it.
I thought so.
Yeah,
I
he's
thought
already
it was
done it.
something that you could. I think he was doing it on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. So talk a little bit about II Nyce Entertainment, man.
Now, II Nyce. I'm very selective in who I work with now. It's no longer a money grab for me, if you will, for lack of a better term. It's no longer, all right, how much you doing, or do you want to come in for 2 or 3 hours? It's not one of those studios no more. It goes back to what we was talking about with Lisa before, about how I pick and vet these people that come in. Now I vet them even more. I even vet my friends now. So what is it that you're trying to do? What is it? Hey, look, man, you better off going to such and such. I'll put in a good word for you, or whatever the case may be. But so I'm very selective about what I'm doing and who I do it with. There's about maybe 3, maybe 4 artists that I'm dealing with. One that's at the top of my list, or at the top of my brain, is a friend of mine. Her name is Mahogany. She's a songwriter. So speaking of Timberland, we actually do the whole Missy Timberland type thing. She writes, I produce, and then we go out and she does a lot of the footwork. But through her and with her, over the past year or so, I've been working with people from Argentina, from Thailand, from Spain. She's just grabbing all these connections and different artists that she's writing for, and then I'll produce what's going on and come back. And so I'm doing a lot of work there. That's where a lot of my stuff is coming from. Then of course my man Billy Live, who's doing his thing, and I'm still backing him up, not only the band but his music production too. And then there's Trobino, who's the newest artist, 20-year-old young female who is a singer / rapper who is really in her hip hop bag right now. You were at the video shoot for her. That was her first video. And she just also happens to be my daughter. That
I was wondering if you was gonna put that in there.
Yeah,
I was wondering if you was gonna put that.
Well, I try not to.
Yeah.
Because she expressed to me about a year or so ago that she's not really trying to ride that train of the Rube Rice train.
Yeah.
So whenever she mentions it now, I take it as a great sign of respect. Because she'll, like her last show, which was Sunday, she was like, shout out II Nyce Entertainment, blah, 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 blah. So that really made me smile. But I try not to force it down people's throat, because one, I want them to judge it simply on its merit of what they hear. And then if they say, man, this is garbage, who is this? I'll be like, I don't know. Then, then if you say, oh man, this is dope, where'd you get her from? And then I'm like, yo, that's my seed, or whatever the case may be. So I try not to say it too much, but
And shout out to her for having that attitude where she doesn't want to,
definitely
feel like she needs to ride the wave of, y'all know who my daddy is.
Exactly. And then what the good part about that is, or the best part is, you don't have to get hooked up in your father's the negative side or whatever, because people will hate you because you're affiliated with me.
Right.
I got that from Cameron. Cameron a few years ago, he was like, he owns this, he owns that, And they was like, man, how come you don't put your name on it? Like, because he owns Burger Kings and Chick-fil-A's and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, nah, man, people hate on you. You put your name on that. They will love Burger King, but you put Cameron's Burger King, they gonna hate it, and they never support you again. So you know,
I remember that.
she gets away from that. Like, oh, you Rube Rice's daughter? Ah, man, that nigga think he this and that, and she don't need all that. Yeah, she don't need all that. So
definitely understand. Definitely understand. Shout out to her, and she will be on the show very soon.
Definitely
be on the lookout.
Yeah,
she definitely will be on the show soon, man. And again, bro, I appreciate that invite to just come out, you know. And like I said, I still think you set me up because I ain't know I was coming out there to do but you know, just to have that opportunity to just come out and see, you know, that work. And it was a great day. It was a lot going on that day.
Yeah.
I think you were like stop 3 or 5 for me that day. Honestly, it was a lot going on.
Yeah.
But I said, you know, I told that man I was gonna be out there. I think I even hit you up and said I'm gonna be a little bit late. But,
no doubt.
You know, I'm gonna slide through. And
no doubt.
Just the whole atmosphere, bro. Just the whole vibe going on out there in the middle of old town mall.
Yeah.
He was out there having a blast, man. You know, aside from the drama that went on the other side when you didn't see that part, did you?
Nah, I didn't see that part.
Yeah, it was a little across the street from the store.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
I
a little.
did see the
Little nonsense, little crazy nonsense going on too.
Yeah, I'm about to say that was I don't want to get you. I don't want to get you shut off.
Right.
Yeah, that was.
I'll just say I thought that they were women fighting, but
yeah.
Women.
Yeah, well, you said that.
Yeah,
you said that.
Yeah, the views expressed by. Man, but definitely.
But man, I definitely appreciate it. Man,
no doubt.
It was a great time. You know, inviting you, E Digger, Tay Bands. You know, I invited a couple more people. Some who couldn't make it, some who did. You know, I appreciated everybody who came through. Especially on my part, because I was trying to bridge the gap,
absolutely,
you know, between this young artist and, you know, the older generation. When she got that, when she came back to me with that song, I was shocked that she chose this beat. You know, we went through about 20 beats. She took about 20 beats home with her, and she went to write. And she came back 2 weeks and like, all right, I got one. I'm like, all right, cool. What's your beat? And she picked that beat. And I was like, wow, this is some old Tribe Called Quest, 1990s type of stuff. And then when she spit to it, I was like, oh, okay, this is nice. This is nice. And then when she went to perform it, oh my God, the place just, I mean, she set that thing on fire. And I was like, all right, well, I guess this is the one. And so by doing that video and doing that song, I wanted to bring, you know, this bridge. And not only did I want to bring unity with Baltimore, you know, I wanted people. I don't ask for a lot, and so I think for me, I guess it's my ego, if you will. When I do ask, it's like, all right, it's like I'm cashing in my favors. You know, these favors that I don't have, but I'm cashing them in. And I'm like, all right, yo, I need you to come out and do this, because I'm not asking everybody. I'm only asking a select few, because that's what I have in my mind. So I was very appreciative, you know, for you and everybody else who came out, and even some of the folks who wanted to come out, because the video was actually postponed twice because of rain. And it was just like, yo, we need this sunshine. We need it. So when you guys came out, man, it not only made me feel good, but it made her feel good. It made the family feel good. It made everybody who was involved feel good. It made Rel from Ayo Boutique feel good.
Shout out to Rel.
He rushed to get there because he had forgot the time and the date. So when he was like, man, can we do part 2? You know, you can shoot some of it today, and then when I get there, we can do part 2 tomorrow. I'm like, well, look, man, we got a crowd. And he's like, what? I'm like, look, man, we got a crowd. We might can do some solo shots. I'm cool. And he was like, he shot down from Westminster. He's like, I'm on my way. And he threw that bad boy, and he got there because it's like he felt it was special.
Mm.
And it felt like, to me, everybody who came felt it was special.
Yeah.
You know, and so I appreciate everybody there.
Yeah.
I really did. It was a moment for me. You know, it was a lot of love. So, you know,
So
and
he
she
ain't just
felt really
come.
great.
He ain't just come from around the corner, bro. He had a little traveling to do.
Yeah. He hit that road. You know, he hit that
a
road.
nice little pump. And knowing Rello, he probably got there in 20 minutes from West.
Yeah, man. And as soon as he got there, as soon as he parked that car, I mean, we were in the middle of a break. He came out that car with that camera and he just started shooting B-roll footage. He started right away. And you see some of that stuff. I'm like, man, when did you do that? And it was like that B-roll footage. I remember doing some of the things. And I was like, dude, you had just got there. So, you know, he put a lot of effort into it. He put a lot of love into it. And it was a 360 vibe, man. Everybody there brought love and light and celebration. And it made her feel like a star. You know, it made her feel, and it showed up in that video with the swag that she had, because she felt like everybody was there in love. And she's really one of those kids, the whole love and light thing. And, you know, it's got to be right. And, you know, so she might have spread some sage around it. I don't know. But, you know, but she's one of those people. Yeah, she's one of those people.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Definitely appreciate it.
So what's on deck for you, man, for like the summer and like the rest of the year?
Man, look,
I'm sure you're gonna be working hard.
It's getting Tropino's project together. That's a mainstay. Getting her really established in the music industry, getting everything that she needs for her career, and ready, truthfully ready for that to explode. I want to do a lot more with the youth and different avenues. You know, that's why I kind of stay hooked up with Billy, stay hooked up with Ogun. Even I want to get more involved with the ceasefire campaign. Well, it's not ceasefire no more, but it's
Baltimore Peace Challenge.
Yeah, there you go. Definitely me and LNG, Latrice, whatever they know her as. You know, we got some things that I want to work out with her. She wanted to be in the video.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that.
So it's a lot. It's a lot, but at the same time, I still want to chill. But I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know how that's going to work out. But yeah, that's where I'm at. You know, Billy Live is still rolling. We got a lot of shows coming up with him. So yeah, man, it's going to be a fun summer. It's going to be a fun summer.
Okay, so hey Derek, my brother-in-law, he just checked in. And this is the guy that I was telling you that knows the guy or thought that he knew the guy. Derek, do me a favor and put that name in the comment section real quick so I make sure I was saying the right name earlier. And we can see if there's a connection there. But like as you starting to get to this age where you want to start kicking back a little bit, and I know it can be hard. How are you managing to find time to balance everything that you have going on? Because it's a lot, bro. Like I see you and hear you a lot everywhere. How do you find time, bro? Because you know you got them chin hairs that's the same color as mine now, bro. So
yeah. Look, if I let it grow, Lord knows. Everything that I do is specific.
Yeah.
Everything, you know, so it ain't like I'm gonna leave out this interview and go to another one, and that's not my style no more. You see me on another interview, it's gonna be like strategically planned. Everything that I do is strategically planned. It's got to be, you know, a week in advance, because I don't want to do music every day.
Yeah.
I don't even want to do music half the week. I do music probably 2 days out of the week, maybe, if I'm feeling good. But what I do is put everything into that music day. So I'll go get a lot accomplished on that day. So there won't be anything left behind or left to do.
So that's not a losing the love for the music. That's just trying to be more efficient with your time.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's make that clear, because I don't want people to think, oh, you know, he's.
Oh, no doubt. Indeed,
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, that's, you know, and a lot of people do think that sometimes, and I have to explain it to them. It's not a love loss. I just got a lot of other stuff that I want to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just don't want to do anything. Sometimes I want to log into Peacock and watch Law and Order.
Come on
with,
now.
with a you know, that's
now.
all I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I don't consume myself with it anymore. I don't chase it. I don't chase the dream, you know, like I used to. Everything that I've learned and I'm learning, I want to give to my children. And I have 3. So everything that I just got out of a financial literacy class this morning, that I need to get some things straight with. And some of the gems that she dropped on me, I went straight to my son and was like, hey, this is what we need to do. What do you think about that? Because everything that I'm doing, I want to give to them. So, you know, there's a lot that I want to do other than music that's fun for me, that makes me feel good. So, you know, I want to be involved with church a lot more. So, you know, I don't really have time for weed smokers and crazy people who have these traumatic lives going on. I don't even need that no more, man. I don't even need it no more. So, you know, and I built up, thanks to a lot of people that we talked about, I've built up some great memories, and I've had a full life when it comes to music. You know, I've met some amazing people. I've got a couple of friends out of this thing, you know, and that's very rare for me, because everybody is pretty much an associate to me. One of the things that I tell a lot of artists that I deal with is like, yo, you can't have a lot of friends in this game. If you have a lot of friends in this game, you're gonna be looking for a lot of friendly favors. And when you get friendly favors, that's when you go to the realm of, oh, now they keeping my music. Oh, now they doing this to me. No, if you would have handled them as business, then you would have been okay, and you wouldn't have been going through all of this stuff. So, you know, but I've had a great run, man. I've been producer of the year, you know, twice in a row. I've gotten a lot of awards from my peers here in Baltimore, and people outside of Baltimore, who are looking in through my lens. You know, they think that we are, and I don't disagree with them, but they think that we are Hollywood. You know, they think that we are Atlanta. They think, you know, we got award shows coming up. We got podcasts. We got webcasts. We got all of these different things that, you know, my family in North Carolina, who's on here, some of them, my family in Cali, man, they was just like, wow, man, that Baltimore scene is ridiculous, man. I wish I was there. And then we got 90% of the people here talking about, I'm trying to get out of here.
I want to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Everybody is scrambling.
I want to go to Atlanta.
Kills me, bro.
Yeah.
I want to go to Atlanta. Yep. That's the first thing out of everybody's mouth.
They trying to get here, man. When you're going to have some, and this is no pat on the back for me, but you're going to have some more people who tune into you, because now it's like, oh, access granted. I got to go watch this guy. And that's how it is, because they just think, and I ain't going to say we do, that we got it going on. We got it going on. And it's a lot of people here who don't. It's the prideful thing. It's the lack of education. You know, when I got my award, I think the last one I got was 2012 or 2013. Man, you should have saw the outpouring from family and friends outside of Baltimore. Not only the ones that inside, but outside. You just thought, man, I walk in there, if I'm walking through Mississippi or LA it's like the great Rube Rice. It's like, oh, it's the great Rube Rice. What's going on, man? How does it feel? How does it feel? You'd have thought I won a Grammy. You'd have thought I won a Grammy, because that's how much we got it going on in Baltimore. But Baltimore just doesn't seem to to feel that way. Huh?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's tough. Go ahead, Lisa.
Well, so with all your wealth of knowledge and how long your longevity, do you think that you would, in fact, start to teach? Do you think that you want to teach
Mm.
Um,
producing?
I am. I am.
Okay.
So what I'm doing now, a lot of my stuff is coming full circle with Trobino. So I'm actually starting to create her a young production team where I'm
Okay.
overseeing what's going on, and eventually I can just fade out to the back and
Nice.
just do the managerial thing with her mother and the dream team that we got. But you know, because I don't want to stick around for the youngness that's about to invade my life.
Yeah.
You know, I took her and I took a young producer that's going to be working with her. I took them with me to a Baltimore Soundstage show. Now, mind you,
Okay.
they're both 20 years old, and this is my daughter. So I'm sitting there and looking at the show, and they come
Mm-hmm.
over to me and they say, "Hey, do you want to go outside and smoke with us?" I don't think
Hmm.
I'm ready for that. So I don't want to be, I don't want to be smoking with nobody. I don't want to be one. I don't smoke like that, but you know, I don't want to be the fun ruiner,
Yeah.
I got
of
you.
building music
Right.
and what
Right.
you
Right.
do.
Right. 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 Right.
So I'm building her a team, so y'all can go ahead and do what you got to do as young people. I'm just gonna oversee what we got going on. Is that good? Nope, I don't think that's good. Can that be doper? Yep, that can be doper. Add a little horn right there, whatever the case may be, and we'll see how that go. Say this, say that. I love the hook. I don't like the hook. Sounds great to me. That's what I wanted to be. So I'm actually building a production team that I'm teaching these guys how to make hits, how to make good music. So yeah.
Okay.
That's dope.
That's what's up.
That's dope.
Good
The
luck with
Rube
that.
Rice, the Rube Rice Academy. Coming
Yeah, I love
Right.
coming,
that.
coming soon. Coming
That's
soon.
right. They need to
And
show them,
shout out,
they need somebody.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
no doubt
definitely.
about it.
And shout out to everybody from North Carolina that is
Yeah,
tuned in with us tonight, man.
Yeah.
I told you, Rube,
they're
he
doing
Hey,
brings them out
Nancy.
nationally, internationally. All of the, all of the stars, man. I love it. Appreciate it, bro. It's been great chopping it up with you, man. Been looking
definitely,
forward
man.
to
I
this
Yes.
appreciate you for having me on, man.
for a long time, man.
But a shout out to you. And there's other people who I'm gonna give their flowers to. But I like it when people do their jobs and take it seriously in what they do.
Yeah.
You could have sat back and said, I don't know why Rube ain't reaching out to me. I thought we were supposed to be cool or whatever the case may be. Who you think I am? I got stuff going on too. That could have been the case. But as a media person, as a journalist, if you will, then you go out and you get your story. And that's what you do. You go out and you get the people who you think are interesting and you bring them on, and that's what you do. Um,
Bro,
yeah,
if I took that approach, I wouldn't have a show.
exactly.
I wouldn't have a
Um,
show.
I gave that prop a few years ago to Hard Body. To Hard Body, they came looking for me. That's how I met those guys. They heard some stuff and they're like, man, who do the production? We got to meet this guy. And so they came and they looked for me. They didn't wait and say, all right, well, we Hard Body and that's what we do. And it's about, they go out and you do your job. You go out and you say, I need to bring interesting people onto my show or who you think is interesting or whatever. And you about your business. So even with E Digger, I told him, some years ago, I like, now you got an award. Now I can come on your show. So he was like, but he went to come find me. And you appreciate that stuff, not only from a personal standpoint, but from a business standpoint. Like, yo, these people are about their business.
Yeah.
And that's what you like about it, man. So shout out to you, man. Miss Lisa.
That. And
Thank
the one
you.
thing that I can say, man, is now that I have this platform, where because it's 100% virtual, I'm able to connect with a lot more people
That is
all
dope.
around. You know what I mean? And I've had, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but I've had a few names up here.
Oh, no
You know,
doubt. Oh,
I've
no
had
doubt,
a
bro.
a special ed and this, but Baltimore still for me always has to be the epicenter. Like I don't care if I end up with a show on Showtime or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore still has to be. I
Yeah.
can't ever get to a point where I'm not giving flowers to people here in the city because, like you said, there's too much dopeness here,
Dope.
and it ain't just
Definitely.
about the wire. It ain't just about the violence
Yeah.
and the drugs. We got some
Yeah.
serious talent going on
Yeah.
here. And as long as I choose to do
Definitely.
this, I'm always make sure that that I'm putting it out there. And plus, man, it's just people that I've become friends with, or I've become fans of since I started doing this in 2014. And
Mm-hmm.
I need to get to know the story. Like
Yeah.
Wombat, like when me and Wombat was doing the show together, Wombat used to get on me all the time because he was like, "Bro, how did you not know such and such and such and such? If I wasn't on the scene, I didn't have a reason to get to know
Right.
such and such and
Right.
such
Yeah.
and such. But now that I'm here and I'm cool with
Mm-hmm.
these people and I respect the talent, I gotta get to know them. And so
Dope.
this is the best way. Like I said at the beginning, this was a learning session for me because I never had the opportunity to really, sit down and chop it up with you about anything that you do.
Yeah,
I
no
just
doubt.
know you, Rube, and you win awards and you make great music and that's it. So yeah,
Yeah.
always looking forward to opportunities like this.
Yeah, man.
Definitely,
We
for real.
appreciate you, bro. The city
Yeah, no doubt,
appreciates you, sir.
no doubt. I appreciate that. Let everybody know how they can follow the Rube Rice movement.
Don't even follow me. if you
Sound like
if
me
you ain't got my
sometimes.
Don't
number,
follow you?
if you ain't got my number, don't even worry about it.
You sound like me sometimes.
Yep. Go follow Trobino. That's
There you go.
TRILL.BINO. Follow her. And if you follow her, you can get to me.
You can get the root. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well,
And
that's
again,
okay,
shout out to
Mr. Rube. I just followed you, so I followed you on Instagram. So there.
Miss Lisa, you have a special place now. So you go ahead and follow me.
Thank
You have a
you so
special
much.
place. Access
Lisa
has
going
been granted.
Lisa.
Oh,
Y'all see
thank
what he
you.
did right there. Y'all see what he did right there.
I see.
And shout out to Phil Bino. She'll be on the show August the 14th. Wanted to make
Definitely,
sure.
man. Appreciate you, bro.
Hey, Rude man, always a pleasure, bro.
Indeed, sir.
Bro, just keep being rude, man. If you keep being rude, you all right with me, bro. I can't ask for much more. Definitely, bro. I appreciate you. Anytime you
Thank you,
need me,
sir.
man, just put the call out there.
Indeed, I will, sir. Indeed,
Yeah,
I will.
I appreciate you, Doc. And tell me how you feel. Never mind. Never mind. I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
ask
Go
you to
ahead. Whoa.
I was gonna ask you to comment about what we was talking about earlier with Azalea Banks and her disrespectfulness, but I don't even
Oh
want to give her
yeah.
no more energy on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not
There you
even
go.
gonna give her no more.
There you go.
But I appreciate you, dog.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure, my man. Hope to see
Thank
you
you, guys.
soon, too. Hope to see
Indeed.
you soon, my man.
Appreciate you.
Rube Rice in the building. Rube Rice.
Yeah.
He gets the L word.
That was
He gets
good.
he gets the L word. He gets the L word. I don't use legendary much. Rube Rice is a legend around these parts, man. If you ask around,
He's a
yeah,
mammoth.
if you ask around, Rube. I mean, if we'd had like, if you dig into the history and look at, I mean, like he only named about 5 or 6 people.
Right.
I mean, if he would have tried to name everybody, he would still be naming names. I'll just put it like that.
Yeah.
He's really
I can
touched a lot of
imagine
dope.
so.
Yeah, he's really touched a lot of dope stuff that has come out of this city, man. And yeah, bro, he's our Dr. Dre. He's our Timberland.
Dr. Dre.
Forget what everybody else
Okay.
says. He's our version of that, man. So appreciate it, man. Thanks to everybody that tuned in, man. Shout out to Blizzard. Yeah, definitely. Even my man Blizzard saying it right there. He is definitely a legend, and we don't pass that word
Yeah.
around to everybody. I refuse to put that word on anybody, man. So yeah, when you got people vouching for him like that. So definitely. Yeah, man. Again, thanks to
Hmm.
everybody that tuned in. We will be back next week, even though next week is technically a holiday. But and actually, it's kind of perfect to have Natty 410 on Juneteenth. That's actually dope to have him on the show. So
Okay.
looking forward to him. Another, I'll put the L word on him too. Another legendary producer here, right here in the city, man. We got so many, bro. It's just so much talent here, man. It's I just wish, as you said, everybody would stop wanting to move to Atlanta.
I
Stop
know. That's
feeling
the
like
first
y'all
thing
gotta
people
go
say.
to New
I'm going to
York.
Atlanta. I'm
Stop
going to
feeling
New
like y'all
York.
gotta go to New York. You know. But then I also hear people say that when people make it to a certain level, they don't come back and reach for people in the city. So, if you have that conversation with 10 different people, you'll get 10 different reasons as to why, they choose to leave or why Baltimore isn't
True.
where we feel like, it should be. But it's number one to
Hmm.
me. I'm a little biased. Y'all see the Raven stuff back there. I'm a little
Yeah, I wouldn't really
biased.
want to be from another city.
Nah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
Yeah,
And
I
I was
wouldn't want to be
peeping
from
that
another city.
that Wreath and Cherry Hill shirt that he had on. We got so much dopeness that came out. I forgot to mention that just comes out of Cherry Hill. Period. Shout out to Cherry Hill, man. Y'all produce, bro. It's a lot of amazing DJs and producers. My man, Casper Bernstein. There's a few of them, man, that come out of Cherry Hill. I don't know what y'all had in the water back then, boy, but whatever it was, y'all had some dopeness coming out of there. He's in the background agreeing with me, man. Shout out to Cherry Hill. I spent a little time, about 10 minutes from Cherry Hill in the Fairfield area. And that's actually where I met LNG, who he talked about earlier. Man, LNG, we reconnected at the state office building back in 1995. And it wasn't until he was
Hmm.
on my show earlier this year that we realized that we knew each other from Fairfield projects right out by Cherry Hill way back when. So yeah, shout out to Cherry Hill, man. Y'all got
Wow.
some fire coming out of there, man. Again, one of those situations where it's only known for the negative, but so much fire coming out of there, man. So
Right.
that being said, man, everybody have an amazing week. Lisa, you got anything that you want to close with? Or you good?
Oh no. It was another amazing
You like
show.
that?
Thanks,
Oh
sir.
no.
Really?
You ain't got no
Huh?
album coming out?
No, I don't have no. I don't have any album coming out. But you know what? Pretty soon I'm gonna be doing my thing, and I will put
Absolutely.
myself out there. Pretty
Absolutely.
soon.
We're
I
gonna
gotta
we
be.
gonna
I
get
gotta get in the kitchen for myself.
absolutely. We're gonna get you in the studio with
Yeah.
Rube too. See if Rube can make you
Oh yeah, I
he
got
can
a session now. So
he, he can auto tune you, make you sound real good. So all right, man. That's it. We are out of here. Thanks to everybody
I
that
know.
tuned in tonight, man. We had a lot of love coming through the building tonight, man. Appreciate everybody. Um, yeah, that's it. Next week, on Juneteenth, we'll be back with my man, producer extraordinaire Natty 410 will be in the building.
Hmm.
Also on Friday, I believe I will be over at my old stomping grounds, Power 4.4 Radio, chopping it up with my man Jay McGraw. So definitely looking forward to that.
Okay.
That old married man, as I call him now. He's an old married.
Okay.
Jay's ring was like this big too, chunky on the ice. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm hating on you right now.
With
But
the
yeah,
I.
definitely
Oh,
looking
okay.
forward to chopping it up. We're gonna be talking about pretty much the Access Granted brand. Um,
Okay.
I got a lot going on, and hopefully a lot coming up with this Access Granted, man. As y'all see, I was
Yeah.
sipping on some of the. I always
I
turn
see
that the
in the
wrong way.
cups.
Yeah, got the
Okay.
cup. And I was sipping on some, Access Granted Long Island iced tea.
Long
Y'all
Island.
can.
You got the commercials. You got
I
cups.
got
You
the little
got
commercial.
t-shirts.
Y'all can holler at me. We
Okay.
got the pouches for $12. You can get a 4-pack for $40. Save $8. Really good stuff.
Okay.
Shout out to my sister, Tipsy Fiend. That's her logo up in the corner.
Right here. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Right
that's
there.
that's that's the mastermind behind that madness that is the Access Granted Long Island iced tea. And we have rum punch coming real soon.
Ooh.
Access Granted rum punch. It's gonna be hashtag not your ordinary rum punch. Yeah, I
Okay.
can't I can't wait till we drop
Okay.
that. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all support, man. Black businesses. We
Yeah,
trying to get this.
definitely.
We trying to get this in stores. We trying to get this in stores. Like this ain't something that we just playing with and doing for fun. We trying to get this in some stores and all of that stuff. But it's gonna take work and it's gonna take
Hmm.
support. So the more y'all buy, you know, yeah, just work with us, man. But we're gonna be talking about all of that stuff with Jay McGraw this weekend, man. So I'll make sure I
Yeah.
share it live so that y'all can tap in about all of that stuff, man. But Again, I appreciate everybody. We will see you guys next week. Rube, I love you, bro. Thank you again, man. Always
Bye,
a pleasure.
guys.
Yeah, give him the heart. The
Give
heart
them the heart.
foundation. All right, man. We out of here. We will see you guys next week. Access
Bye,
granted.
guys.
The stream. Hold on. I'm trying to delay this so that I can play the commercial as we go. I'm trying to delay it. I'm trying to delay it.
Oh, hey, Robin.
And shout out to my sister Robin R. Haynes popping up in the
I
building. at the end of the
know,
show. You know we come on at 7 o'clock. Why are you just getting here? That's my sister.
Oh my goodness,
Shout
I
out
used
Robin.
to work with Robin years ago. Good sis. I'm so proud of all of her accomplishments. Hey,
Yeah,
Robin.
Robin is, you know what? And it's been a long time. It's been a long time. So Robin, let's connect so that we can get up here and talk some money. Let's connect real soon. But that's it. We out of here, man. We will see you guys next week. Lisa, I
See you
appreciate you.
guys.
Have a good one. All right, man. We out.